Welcome to Significance Breed Success. I'm your host, Daniel Puder. I'm super excited today because one of my friends, Andres Ospina, is a rock star. Bro, you have helped me open my mind. I saw you on stage. What did I do when you were at an event with a bunch of billionaires or people that were running billion-dollar family offices, multifamily offices? I walked up to you. We connected eyes. We looked at each other. You're a beautiful human. If I was a woman and not engaged, I'd date you. You know, it's an amazing thing. I love you, bro. You've impacted a bunch of my kids, a bunch of our families when we were feeding families. I just really appreciate everything about you and you know, you looking at our vision to support families and change the world. So thanks for coming on today, bro.
Dan, thanks for having me. Thanks for that great introduction. I'm going to make sure to put that little sound bite and just post it on my Instagram stories all the time, over and over again.
Of course you are.
I'm like, yeah. So I appreciate the promo, and then honestly, it's you know, I'm very blessed to have met you because ever since we met at the Super Summit in December, anytime that we've had interaction, I always leave just feeling a lot more fulfilled, and really what you do really reminds me of a big reason for the ambition that I have today. I think that along the way, sometimes I forgot why, you know, I had so much ambition in my heart and these big lofty goals, right? Because when you're younger, a lot of these big lofty goals come down to wanting to save the world and end evil and give the next generation opportunities that you didn't have or knowledge that you weren't aware of. And then along the way, it kind of just starts to really become about money. And you know, you start to kind of just want to take care of more of you on your own because you kind of lose the vision of being able to save the world. You know, how can I at least help my community? And you really help expand that. And you know, when we talk about, you know, that generational poverty and ending it, it's a reminder that there's a lot bigger of a game to play.
Yeah, I love it, bro. And this was crazy is you were on stage introducing people at the Family Office Club, you know, event. You had what, about 2,000 people there. You guys in your group have over 1,500 registered family offices globally, which have over $1 trillion in assets under their management. I mean, you guys are big. You're the number one, and you're the largest association in the family office industry. So, you know, your time is definitely precious. I appreciate the 30 minutes today, and you being the director of the charter memberships. I think that's huge in what you're doing with helping businesses also know how to pitch, know how to you know, build you know, what their vision is and show it off to investors. But I want to go back a little bit before we talk about like the big stuff. And I want to know, you know, back in the day, you were the regional director of sales and marketing. You know, you've been a rock star, like, you're a real estate agent. You've done NLP training. You're a mastermind facilitator. Like, yeah, you have a training certification. You're a real estate agent. Like, you've done a lot of stuff in your short life to be able to impact a lot of lives. Like, was this inspired by a parent? Like, where did you get these ideas of creating this amazing vision and purpose?
I think there's a lot of things in my late teens and early 20s that started to really shift my mindset. You know, I really was, you know, I was a non-ambitious, like, atheist, right? Like, I didn't believe in God, and I didn't believe in, you know, in my ability to obtain wealth, right? Like, I went into my first semester of college wanting to be a computer engineer, making $70,000 a year. Like, that was the goal. And things started to, there was just pieces of knowledge that intercepted into my life. I'm a curious skeptic, so I'm always going to look into things to me that make slight sense and then look deeper into it. And, you know, I think there were two pivotal moments in my life, honestly, that really changed everything for me. And I think number one was spirituality. And when I was taught that you know, my age is not my age, right? I'm 32 years old, but truly, if we really look at all the atoms that my body is made out of, those atoms have been here for as long as time. The atoms that I'm made out of are literally billions and billions of years old, and whatever you want to call it, God, consciousness, your spirit, was able to bring this material stuff together and animate it and create this human, you know, out of stuff that's been around forever. That was part of stars that exploded and became other planets and spread again and recycled themselves until eventually they became a part of of the body that I'm animating today. And to me, that kind of just blew my mind and kind of took me out of like atheism, right? And I became an atheist because I had lost faith in religion, right? I just saw all the corruption and all the pain and all the suffering and all the control and the you know, how the patriarch had really ruined it a lot by making it so man-driven, that I was like, there's no God. But when we really break down like the miracle of life, like it's kind of hard to deny at the end of the day. When you really break it down at a scientific level, not even at an esoteric level, like the miracle and the science behind everything around us is pretty beautiful. So that's number one. And then two was when I was in college, struggling, not making any money, I got into sales. I started selling Cutco knives. And I remember I sold like my first set of knives. It was like $1,000 sale. I made $150 in like 40 minutes. And that completely changed my paradigm around money. Because in college, most of your friends are working for like $8 to $11 an hour. And even when you break down a $70,000 salary, you're not making much on an hourly wage, maybe like 30, 40 an hour. And I made $150 in these 40 minutes selling this set of knives. And it just like, the first thought in my head was, if there's a way to make money like this, like why was it never taught to me? Why was I never taught about commissions? You know,
Yeah.
When I was in school growing up, like why was I really never taught about this? Primarily because what sales was doing for me is that it was making me a better communicator. It was teaching me how to be more influential. It was teaching me to be more of a professional, right? To take care of my image, to take care of my body language, to take care of how I dress, how I groom myself. All of these very important things, and this is what you and I have always talked about, you know, my passion for teaching children about sales. Because it's you don't need a college degree, right? All you need is to have a lot of heart, perseverance, get over the fear of rejection, and it doesn't matter where you came from, where you grew up, what university you went to. In sales, you can make six figures your first year, and you can build up enough of a network and enough commission to build wealth for yourself. So those two things were huge changes for me that kind of work together today, you know, and have built everything else from that vision. Those two are really the core, you know, really understanding like if you learn, right, I think a lot of people have negative connotation to sales, which is why I like to use the word sales a lot, because I think it's important, especially youth that may not have the same opportunity as youth that were maybe raised with a more wealthy family and a better school system. Sales is the best way out from my perspective. So that's kind of how it all came about. And then from there, you know, I fell in love with personal development. I got hired by T. Harv Ekker's company, Success Resources, Millionaire Mind Intensive, was on tour with them for a few years. Ended up, before that, I made my first six figures in network marketing. Very tough business to build, but you know, once again, I think if you can build a network marketing team, you can pretty much do any business in the world. And then I got lucky enough and, you know, came into Richard's radar. He knew about my experience in events. At the time, Family Office Club was doing about 15 events a year. Last year, we did 32 events. So I came on board to build up the membership, to do more events, you know, and to get Richard's knowledge more out there on stage. You know, that's what I'm really good at. I like to push the people at the top up and you know, leverage people like Richard that have written 13 books and built this community and be able to climb up with them.
So I think you just downplayed your time on the road for a couple of years. Like, oh yeah, they brought me on for a couple of years. You know, I mean, that's kind of like Tony Robbins was starting out. He was like, oh yeah, I was just doing all these events. Like, I mean, you're amazing. Like, you spend time with some of the wealthiest people that make more impact, whether donating from their foundation or doing cause-based investments, or they run $1 trillion worth of assets. Like, you spend time with these people. Tell me about those couple of years on the road. How was that to go from city to city to, how many people were in the audience? Hundreds, thousands. I mean, you really made a lot of impact in probably 500,000 people's lives over a couple of years.
Yeah. So now with Family Office Club, obviously this year we weren't really touring, but last year 32 events, definitely on tour with Family Office Club for the past couple of years. And then with Success Resources, it was more personal development, mindset, entrepreneurship versus finance now. When I was on tour with Success Resources, I was, I got to share the stage with Jack Canfield on occasion, got to share the stage with Lisa Nichols, a lot of T. Harv Eker's top trainers. It was exciting. The best part was that I got a lot of my education and courses for free. Those courses aren't cheap. So, I got to go through have a lot of amazing breakthroughs. And I got to learn a lot. I made a lot of mistakes too. I was younger and excited and traveling and making money, and that's all part of the process as well. But it was exciting. I learned so much. I grew. I got to really see a vision for becoming a trainer, and helping people have more of those breakthroughs, and to be around. It's important. I think it's so important to, you watch a movie like The Secret, and I think that for many years, like, I exalted a lot of the speakers there and put them on a pedestal, and not to say that they're not amazing. They're absolutely amazing and have built incredible businesses, but you need to get around people like this more often, just so you can really see how human they are, because sometimes we just don't think we're good enough because we see, especially today, through social media and through YouTube and Instagram, we get this, we paint this picture of like this person that we admire, and the truth is that marketing is marketing, and yeah, you got to embellish a little bit. So people aren't, so a lot of people don't give themselves credit for what they can do for the world, because they look at their heroes and they think that, they're far from that. So that really helped there. And then working with Family Office Club, that's the thing. When I got introduced to Family Office Club and learned what a family office really is, which, in the most layman's way to put it, it's a family that's worth over $100 million in assets and has built their own little private finance firm strictly for the family and to look for more investments. When I saw the opportunity to be around the wealthiest families in the United States and in the world, once again, for me, it's how can I work? How can I work and get paid and learn at the same time? Like, those are always my two rules. Like, how can I work and get paid and learn at the same time? I don't want to be either doing one or the other. I need to be doing both simultaneously. And I was like, yeah, sign me up right away. And obviously, due to my experience with Success Resources is what attracted Richard to my resume. And we just started doing more events. We started doing more workshops, and then thanks to, due to COVID, we were able to transition to an online platform really well, which actually has created growth for the company. I miss traveling for sure, but we're still able to offer a lot of our value online, and our competitors weren't. They were too focused on live events, while we always had a digital platform. All we had to do was just kind of really optimize it and make it better. So that's, it's been an exciting journey, an exciting ride. I think that for me now, it's, there's just more focus in especially now with investing, right? I think that when I was with Success Resources and Millionaire Mind Intensive, they really pushed the E quadrant, being an entrepreneur, because that's not the E quadrant, sorry, the S&B quadrant, small business and big business owner. and being an entrepreneur. And